A wise third grader once said, if you don't start nothing, there won't be nothing. Well, I started something, so now it's got to be something. So this wasn't supposed to make it into a video. It was just supposed to be a quick fix, but an investigation into what I thought was just going to be a routine tube replacement turned out to be something much more systemic and deep. So thank you for joining me for another episode of Forgotten Gear Restorations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, do the whole thing. I hope this finds you guys well on a Tuesday evening. Bye-bye. Mark, good morning. I'm sitting behind your Ampeg SVT-II. This was serviced on the 11th month of 2005 by someone over at Dave's Sound Repair over in Whippany, New Jersey. You guys go check them out if you're out there. And how do I know that? Well, there's a sticker that's telling me so over here. Now, you have a sextet of fat old 6550s, but there's an issue. One of them does not appear to be functional. Let's get some juice going. We're on a protected circuit here. And let's see if we can identify the one. There'll be some fan noise. And I'm just going to train the camera right on the dude who has the problem. Now, as you can see, the filaments warming up. You might notice that one of them is not, and it's this guy right here in the center of the shot. So let's genuflect and pray that it's not an issue on the circuit board. Let's just pray that it's an issue within the tube itself. Okay. So having said all of that, let me set up a test here, and I'll get you guys right back in there. All right, now, again, pardon the fan noise. Let's focus on this meter here. Let's just start off in AC and see if we have heater voltage. So we'll go, the 6550 is pretty much the same pinout as the 6L6, same family. So there's one, and then there's the other one. That looks a little off, but they're all like that. Now let's switch over to DC and see what is going on here. So this should be our plate supply. And we're in the millivolt range for the plate supply. Screen supply. Negative voltage supply, okay. So something's going on here. So I'm gonna pull down a schematic. I'm gonna have to flip this guy over and see what's up. I'm gonna swap a tube really quick and see if we get any sort of ignition, and we do. So there's definitely a fault. And let's see if it conducts. It's certainly conducting. These 6550s are all mechanically noisy. Does it mean they're all bad? No, but they're certainly noisy, and one of them's gone down. So, and then you can see the substitute there. This guy right here, no issues. That's it. So you guys stand by. All right. Not sure how I'm going to film this. I'm sorry if you got a glimpse of the old crotch. So the issue is plate voltage is not reaching this tube socket right here, but it's reaching all the others. Now remember, on a push-pull amp, the plates are split up on that primary tap of the output transformer. We have one half here, and then the other half is over here on this side. Now, I'm going to use a marker so I can illustrate what I'm doing here for you guys out there. And then after I do my work, I'm obviously going to wash the board and scrub it, so that will go away along with that. Now, this will divide one side from the next. All right, yeah, push and pull, okay? And I'll tell you that oriented at the 12 o'clock position, we have our plate supply. Let me get in there for you a little bit more. So let's put one lead there. We can see an obvious bridge there. There's the other guy. Let me get some light. Okay, and that doesn't help either, but you can see. You can see what's going on here. You're like, oh, I'm not even going to edit that out. You're just getting the real stuff here, guys. So we have the plates here at the 12 o'clock position. We can see that guy. So we know that this bank here is working. Let's find out what we're looking for. There's the other guy. So we know this guy is good and this guy is good. So let's make sure we have continuity here, here, and here. Perfect. Now, let's go to this bank here and do the same thing. So we know this guy is working. All right. Good, good, good. Uh-oh. And here's our break. So there's a connection on the opposite side of this board from here to here to here. The break is not from here to here. All right, Mark, sorry to add to your stress, brother. You see these big 5 waters? Look at that guy, just completely blew off. And that explains what I heard rattling around in there. This guy. So, let me see if I can even get to that guy in there. And make sure there's no other collateral damage. And I'll let you know. All right, let me break in here for a quick overdub to explain something that I didn't before. Didn't have time. I did not plan on this becoming a thing. But since we're getting into it, since there are 10 ohm 5 watt resistors going from the plate rail over to the plate pin, where now I think the more recent ones have an inductor there, and you'll see the L that I'm zooming in on, that's for inductor. L is an inductor. What you can do if you have one of these older ones is measure from plate pin to plate pin without even removing the chassis. And that puts them in parallel, your measurement. You should see like 5 ohms there going from plate pin to plate pin until you hit that third tube where it breaks over to the other side of that primary. All right, Mark, so I've gotten that guy out of there. I need to order another 5 watt, a 5 ohm resistor. But look at this. Gonna get these 2 guys off of that spade lug terminal. I'll put them directly on. I'll solder them right to the board. All right, that's as clean as I can get it for right now. I gotta go, but that's passed through and crimped. So I had to actually cover this up with a jacket because it had split the wire up to this point right here. Insane.